This is a discussion on something that's a bit of a touchy subject. It's actually in response to a couple of pro-gay videos that have been previously posted on YouTube, and I'll put links to the to these videos in the description. And it's all about the religious objections to homosexuality. I know the situation with homosexuals these days is that it used to be a very taboo thing to talk about. It was regarded as years ago. It was regarded as a very unpleasant thing to talk about. It was male homosexuality was very, very much against the law in Britain up until 1967, and even after that, there was the age of consent where sexual behaviour was legal between them was 5 years higher than the heterosexual age of consent. So it was regarded as something that should be discouraged, especially in young people. So, but I know for generations, people have thought that that homosexuality is condemned in the Bible, but they're starting to say now that it isn't. That there's nothing that the Bible's been misinterpreted, but I know your sexual orientation nowadays is regarded as being on a par with your skin colour. I mean, years ago, but black. I would admit that years ago, blacks were discriminated against. They used to have laws in some states of America, even up until quite recently, where you couldn't marry people of a different race or skin colour, and probably in my country where I lived, black people were regarded as inferior by whites, but it's very much taboo to think. You can't think like that nowadays, because you can get away with it. You can get into serious trouble for insinuating anything like that because it's regarded as racism. Well, the word homophobia has come into our language recently. It's a new word. It's not an old word. It's a new word, and it's implying that religious objection to or prejudice against homosexuality is similar to racism. Homophobia nowadays is on a par with racism, and you can't say that it's wrong to be a homosexual. You can't express an opinion that they're inferior to heterosexuals. You have to treat them as though they're just the same as everybody else, and they have all these protections nowadays. But there are many people in various religious organisations who do regard homosexual practices as morally wrong because of their interpretation of Scripture. And should they be regarded as homophobic? Well, this video clip is to show the reasons why they shouldn't be regarded that way, because everyone's entitled to have opinions about something. I mean, it's like I said. In the year my parents got married, sex between males was illegal in Britain. That was in the year my parents got married. That was how recently it was. And in just a few years, really. I'm only 53 now. It wasn't all that long ago, and it's rapidly. Attitudes have just changed rapidly. You have to treat homosexuals the same way as heterosexuals. You can't say that that they shouldn't be getting married. You can't say that they shouldn't be bringing children up. It's that's the. It's just like the worm has turned completely. But and if you imply that there's anything wrong with homosexuality, that's regarded as a hate crime. Well, there's a simple reason why it isn't a hate crime. It's just a matter of opinion. Because some people choose not to celebrate Christmas because they regard it as a pagan festivity. It wasn't the true birthday of Christ. It was passed. It was introduced into. It's one of the traditions introduced into Christianity from pagan religions. It comes from the feast of Saturnalia, the winter solstice. You can Google these things. If you Google Christmas pagan origins, or there's a book. I'll find this book. I've got it in this bureau here. There was a book called the Two Babylons. Here it is.